Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Second of all, I want to give the honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And third of all, I want to give a peace and safety to the hopeful elect out there, the brothers that push this truth, the truth of the King James Bible, and all truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe. Alright, so I just want to do a short lesson of how alone the spirit of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai allows it to go. And I want to name the video Amos chapter 3, verse 2. All right, which I'm going to read here in a second. But Lord wills, brothers, can see on the screen. I have this article here from the Yahoo News. And it says Argentina to hike interest rates to 75% as inflation nears 100. All right. And we all know what how inflation goes down, how inflation happens pretty much when the value of the dollar of your currency goes down. All right. Then the prices of goods go up. All right, so they're pretty much in hyperinflation right now. Their currency, their money is pretty much worthless. All right, so they're well on their way. Well, pretty much already are, and are on their way to being in the same boat as countries like Zimbabwe or Venezuela. All right, where you need tons of money to buy one or two items. All right, and eventually, what does that lead to? That leads to all hell breaking loose. Just like in Venezuela, before their currency, when their currency started to tank. All right. What happened? You started hearing reports of people breaking in zoos, killing zoo animals and eating them. All right. People in prisons chewing on each other's ear. All right. Nobody didn't even want to go to Venezuela at one point. They still don't. All right. But there's just no news coverage on Venezuela because people are probably afraid to send cameras. Well, they are afraid to go down there and videotape it. I remember Luke Rakowski. He went down there. Him and Jeff Brunswick, Salakia. They went down there like 5 or 6 years ago or something like that, and it was all hell now. So back then, so imagine what's going on now. There was no running water. The country is pretty much bankrupt. All right, and you people of Argentina and you people of Venezuela are both Israelites. All right, you indigenous people down there. All right, you people from Argentina, you're Israelites from the tribe of Naphtali or Napataya. All right, and again, once the currency becomes worthy, all hell breaks loose, just like in Venezuela. So it's going to happen. Same thing is going to happen in Argentina and the rest of them South American countries because you're Israelites. All right, that's why through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, I named the video Amos chapter 3 verse 2. All right, which speaks about the Lord punishing punishing us, the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, with the 2/3, because the Most High is looking to get the 2/3 on this side, for all your iniquities. All right, and the Most High is bankrupting them currencies down there, bankrupting these currencies. Eventually, what's going to happen? Causing hyperinflation. All right, well, people ain't gonna have enough money to buy items, and then that's when people turn to crime. All right, like I said, it tells you in second. There's just the 15th chapter. So I'm gonna read a little bit of this article. It says Argentina's central banks, which is all the same thing, ran by the elites of Esau, the elite banking family. All right, raised its benchmark interest rate Thursday in a bid. Same thing's gonna happen here in America too. All right, because inflation is getting out of control here in America too. All right, a benchmark interest rate Thursday in a bid to prop up its currency and curb inflation nearing 100%. So their money is pretty much worthless. And again, once the money is worthless, or it costs so much money to buy certain items, like places like Venezuela, like Zimbabwe, their currencies they got $1 trillion bill. They don't buy crap. All right, Venezuela, I think they got like a $1 million bill. They don't buy crap. They don't buy anything. All right, and both of those, well, Venezuela, it's all hell has broken loose down there. The same thing is gonna happen in Argentina, and there's no media coverage here in America about it. All right, and again, the same thing is gonna happen here too in America. It says the central bank boosts its benchmark liquidity rate by 5.5 percentage points in 75%, according to the emailed statement that moves come days after data shows consumer prices jumped nearly 79% a year in August, the fastest pace in 30 years. And the same thing is going to happen here in America, man. Inflation is out of control, and this is all by design. And it was the bank ninth rate hike this year. The bank's ninth rate hike this year. So I'm going to jump down a little bit. It says central banks across Latin America, which is all you South American countries down there. All right. Central banks across Latin America have risen rates this year to combat high inflation, but the prices have continued to stay hot at high levels. And again, when the value of the dollar goes down, interest when interest rate rise, that means the value of the dollar is going down, and the prices in the good stores are going to go up. All right, and then eventually, what's going to happen? People can't afford the food. All right, and then people are going to turn to crime, and then that's when all hell breaks loose. Pretty much the survival of the fittest. Again, the best example is Venezuela. The same thing is, which again are predominant Israelite country. All right, so Argentina is suffering the same thing. All right, a predominant Israelite country. And again, the Lord is looking to punish you 2/3 down there in Latin America. All right, because you're heavy into idol worship, man. The Northern Kingdom, but the prices have continued to stay hot at hot levels of cash. Workers and businesses make monetary policies less effective than its developed economies. Argentina central banks. Right. That's pretty much it. But yeah, all hell is gonna break loose down there, man. Just like in Venezuela. And again, you won't hear nothing about Venezuela anymore at all. They won't even talk about Venezuela anymore. They weren't talking about it at first, but now they definitely ain't saying nothing about Venezuela. And all them South American countries, the Most High, the 2/3 down there, the Most High will get all of you, man. Because again, you're heavy into idol worship. You know, the scriptures say Ephraim is joined into his idols. Leave him alone. All right. And Ephraim, of course, is the so-called Puerto Ricans. But the same thing applies to the rest of the Northern Kingdom. On down to Issachar, from Ephraim on down to Issachar. So-called Puerto Ricans, and on down to the so-called Mexicans. Same thing, man. You guys are all in a heavy idol worship, man. The Most High is going to get all of you. All right. This is let's go ahead and get that amos like it. This Amos chapter 3, verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I have brought up from the land of Egypt, which you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native and Seminole Indians. Verse 2. Ye only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquity, right? Because we're supposed to keep the laws. But down there, or even between both Southern and Northern Kingdom, all right, the majority, the 2/3, the majority of our people aren't keeping the laws at all. All right, the Lord gave us his law, statutes, and commandments, and we're supposed to follow them. But you see, down there in South America, there are people down there are heavy idol worship, heavy idol worship, man. All right, until one of the Northern Kingdom of the Lord is a black man, a 2/3 one. He'll look at you like you're crazy, man. No, Jesus Christos is white. He's a white man. Well, he looks like, that's why the Lord's going to demolish you, man. All right? And the Most High is doing this by design, causing your money to become worthless. And then when you can't afford anything, they're gonna turn to crime, and that's when all hell is gonna break loose down there. All right. Because they won't be able to afford anything, they can't eat. So what are they gonna do? Just like in Venezuela, they started eating the animals in the zoo. All right. Then they in prison. You had video of one person chewing the motherfucker ear off. All right, eating all the dogs, eating the dogs, the cats, the garbage in the trash can. All right, because the money became completely and utterly worthless. All right, and then when people go to crime and start stealing, then you got a lack of goods, and then that's when people are going to turn to what? Cannibalism. All right, killing each other, eating each other. All right, and it's all going to start with these currencies being devalued, man. All right, just like in Venezuela. But you only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for your iniquity. Right, the Lord's going to punish you for your iniquity. The main iniquity you commit is what? Idol worship. All right, idol worship and a bunch of other abominations that you're doing down there. Not just them, you niggas too, so-called nigga blacks too. All right, this is Jeremiah chapter 11 verse 11. Salakia. Jeremiah chapter, I'll start at verse 10. Jeremiah chapter 11 verse 10. They are turned back to their iniquities of their forefathers, which refused to hear my words. All right, and that's the majority of our people. They refuse to hear the words of the Lord, and they went after other gods. And that's South America is heavy down there. I think in Brazil is where they had that giant statue of that cracker Jesus Christ. And them niggas down there worship that shit, man. All right. They went after other gods, Jesus Christ, or Jesus Christos, to serve them in the house of Israel and the house of Judah. Both southern and northern kingdom have broken my covenant which I made with their forefathers. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will bring evil upon them. Which the word evil means bad. The Lord's gonna bring bad things upon you. All right. And again, like Venezuela is the perfect example. There's no coverage here in America of what's going on down there on the mainstream media anyway. All right. And the rest, we don't know what's going on. All hell's got to be breaking loose right now in Argentina. All right. And Brazil and them other southern countries, man. Because all the countries are going bankrupt. I will bring evil upon them which they shall not be able to escape. Right? You're not going to be able to escape. Where you going to go? Some of them are fleeing and trying to go to other countries, but it's going to be just as worse in the other country. Where you going to go? It's nowhere to hide. Come to America. America's going to be in the same boat. The inflation here has got so bad. Next week, Jerome Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve, he's supposed to hike interest rates another 75 basis points, but that's all he's been doing. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over and expect a different result. It's not going to do anything. Like all them financial experts, it's not going to do nothing. Nothing's going to stop this high inflation. Why? Because of all the money they printed up. All right, the value's the dollar, and there's no way you can go back from that. And we see it in America's collapsing because of that, and these other countries around the world are collapsing. They should not escape. Right, nowhere to go, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, man. It's gonna be bad times everywhere. And though they cry unto me, I will not hearken unto them. Right, the Lord's not gonna hearken unto you, man. All right. Let me jump out of verse 14. Verse 14. Therefore, pray thou not for this people, neither lift up a cry nor prayer for them, for I will not hear them in the time that they cry unto me for their trouble. Right. So we're not supposed to pray for them either, man, because they're wicked. Only the elect down there. Only the Bukarium down there. All right. What we supposed to pray for. Everybody else, the 2/3, the hell with them down. The hell with them. All right. They're going to be destroyed, man. They don't accept the word. They don't love the Lord. So why should we love them? All right. Get one more and I'm going to close it up. This second Ezra chapter 15, verse 19. And a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. And this is going to apply everywhere. Not just here in America, all around the world. But shall destroy their houses with a sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right, you have to have, in this world, you have to have money in order to eat, pretty much, for the most part. Every now and then, somebody will have be generous and give you some money to get something to eat if you're hungry or whatever. But it's the saying, if you don't work, you don't eat. So, I mean, when the value of the dollar, people can't afford food. People can't afford groceries. All right, people can't afford it. So, what are they going to turn to? Or the value of the dollar is going to go down so much. It's going to take so much of the currency. All right, you ain't going to have enough to pay for it. All right, you ain't going to have enough dollars to pay for those goods. So again, people are going to turn to crime. All hell is going to break loose. All right. And people are going to eat their kids, like it tells us also in like it tells us in 2 Ezra 16 chapter. It's going to be all out hell. All hell is getting ready to break loose, man. All right. And that's why the Lord, one of the reasons why why the Lord is collapsing this financial system. And ultimately what? To bring people to their knees. All right. The Lord set Esau up with this. Bring people to their knees and to push that mark. Alright? The people are going to run to it, man. After their backs is against the wall, that's when Esau is going to come with it. The central banks is going to come with it. And a lot of our people are going to accept it. Because they don't see no other way out. And then that's going to get the Most High license to destroy them. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash, the honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and safety to you brothers pushing this truth and sincerity. With that, I'm going to say shalom.